we get to the not so fun part, in my opinion. Some people enjoy aquascaping. I do not. So basically what I do is I just stack rocks in there randomly until I get a configuration that I'm happy with. And then I usually sleep on it and come back the next day and kind of stare at it a little bit, make sure I'm happy with it, and then I'll kind of glue as needed, or take some of it apart and get glue in and make it more stable. So right now I've just kind of sat some of the rocks in there. So I'm going to start playing with it and configuring the aquascape. For first timers, when you start aquascaping, if you have a small tank, it's not overly difficult. And then you can even buy the Carib Sea, the little tree deals that are really easy to fool with, like everybody's seen in the water box I did. I've done a number of scapes over the years, and I'm not good at it. I don't consider myself good at it, but I would just say things to keep in mind. You want to try to make sure water can circulate completely around your rock work and have as many openings as possible. The fish not only like caves and stuff like that, but you don't want like dead spots to where the water isn't moving. Just is prone to cause issues when you have that. Some people prefer a minimalist aquascape where they just put a few rocks in there and then stack corals all over them. Some people have huge rock piles and do the 1 pound per gallon or more and just load it up. Basically, I've ordered 140 pounds of dry rock, and I'm just going to take pieces and kind of just put them in there until I'm somewhat happy with it. And then if I have extra, that's fine. I just order that much, so I kind of have some variety in doing it. Other than keeping it so water can circulate around it and you have good flow, other than that, it's just personal preference. Like, what do you like? Do you want to use minimal amounts of rock and maybe do surface area for bacteria in the sump, or have a refugium, or just think about what your goals are, what you want to do, and just make sure that it's pleasing to you. Don't worry about what other people think and say. You see all these videos, some of them like try to tell you how to do it. Just do what's appealing to you, because you're the one that's going to look at it every day. So just make sure you're happy with it. Now, having said that, I've put these together before and done aquascaping before and then put glue to it. And then the more I looked at it, the more I kind of realized I wasn't happy with it. So I have ended up redoing it before. And once you put glue to it, it becomes kind of a pain to do. So you want to try to make sure that you have it right. But if not, just do the best you can with it. It's not something, most of us aren't setting up aquascapes every day, so nobody's going to be just perfect at it. And then I see a lot of professionals that they set them up, and I don't really care for the style that they've gone with. So it's just all personal preference. So just, for beginners, take your time with this process. Don't get in a hurry. Some people put sand in there first. Some people say leave the sand out and set all your rocks in there. I put a very thin layer of sand and then kind of work the rock into it a little bit. And then after I get it done, then I add the rest of my sand. So right now I've only got 2 bags of sand in there, and I've got 4 more. So, I've got it all kind of pushed to the front and stuff like out of the way. I don't want to sit my rocks directly down on the glass, and just, even though it's the bottom, it doesn't really matter if it gets scratched or scuffed a little bit. I just kind of want to be careful and make sure I don't end up breaking it or anything like that. So I've just always kind of put a little bit of sand in there just to work the rocks into. I kind of like put them down and twist them into the sand a little bit and make sure they're seated well, because most of the tanks I enjoy the goby and shrimp pairs, so they move a lot of sand and dig under things, so you got to make sure that the rocks are touching the bottom glass and pretty solid there, else they'll dig out from under them and they could topple over. So just something to be aware of. Other than that, I mean, just try to think about what your goals are and what you want to do. If you're going to be adding a lot of corals, then make sure you have a lot of surfaces at different levels that you can add corals to. You might want to have some flat spots. You might want to, just think about what your goals are. That's all I'm trying to say. What's your goals for the tank? What all do you envision in there? And try to think about, like with corals and stuff, kind of sticking out and doing whatever you're wanting them to do, and try to base your aquascape on that. I mean, if you're going to put a big clam in there that's 10 inches or better, then you got to, leave space for that. And are you putting a clam in that goes in the sand, or are you putting one that needs to go up on rocks? So just consider your plans for the tank when you're building your rock work or aquascape. All right, let me do a little more work here and we'll continue on with this video. All right, so this is what I came up with. So I'm only putting 2 lights on here, like depending on what kind of corals you do and things like that, considering different aspects of it, future planning. On a tank that's 4 feet, you can get away with 2 lights, but if you want to do certain corals and all, it would take more. But I'm just going to run 2 Kessels on here. So I kind of did 2 kind of rock stacks with openings and caves in all of them. And then in the center, I kind of did a lower flat spot that I can put some stuff. And then I also left kind of a large open area of sand so I can put things there if I want to. So like I said, this isn't going to appeal to everyone. Some people might say, oh yeah, that looks cool. Some people might look at it for what it could be, with corals and stuff on it. And then some people might say, oh yeah, no, that's just stacked or piled rock. That doesn't appeal to me. I don't like that. I like it more open or less rock or whatever. So anyway, not saying that anything that I do is the correct way to do it. I'm only showing people the way that I do things. So I think I'll probably be pretty happy with this. I hope so anyway. I'll get up and walk around it so you can kind of see a little closer. I got my sand bed a little bit deeper than I intended to. I usually do between 1 inch and 2 inches, and on that one side I think it's getting closer to about 3 inches. That side's probably good. I might just scoop some of the sand out on that side. It actually took less sand than I thought. I think that was, that's 4 bags, and I have 6 bags for it. So good in one sense, bad in another. I mean, now I've got 2 extra bags that were $38 a piece, but it is what it is. Okay. Let's just walk around and take a look here. I got toys and everything else here in the way. Okay, so the back, I left some space for the most part. I got an opening so water can flow through the back. If I get detritus buildup and stuff back there, I can definitely get a hose all around it to siphon sand and stuff like that. So that's the main goal of that. Not just water flow, but being able to get, a hose back there to get some suction and like sand vacuuming going on. I apologize, you can see my reflection in the glass. I'm just late at night in a t-shirt and everything. See, I kind of left some little like caves and all, and I have that one rock that's a flat bottom that I kind of turned upside down. You know, there's some corals that I'll cut the stem part off and just have the disc, and sometimes it's easier to glue it on something flat. I've just run into previous times where I said, man, I wish I had more of a flat spot to stick these to, so kind of put that there for that reason. I gotta smooth the sand out a little more. I'm gonna dig a little bit of it, or scoop a little bit of it out of this corner, and then I'll smooth it all out. But that's it for this video. So I guess next I'll scoop some of that out, and then I'll start adding water. All right, I got about 50 gallons of water in there, maybe about 55. Anybody that follows along with my videos knows that the salt mixing setup and station that I have is a 60-gallon container. So I didn't pump it completely empty, so I think that's probably about 50 gallons, to be honest. It might be just a little bit more. But anyway, so I've got another batch of saltwater mixing. I always let my saltwater mix overnight before I add it. So tomorrow I will fill the display up the rest of the way, and then it might be the third day that actually, because I think the sump holds like 30 something gallons on its own. So I'll probably have to be on the third day before I can fill the sump up. So I will do my next video. This will close this one out. My next video, I will have it test the flow and check everything and have it up and running, and I will do an update video at that time and kind of show you the progress on it and what everything's looking like. I went ahead and added the Tim's one and only nitrifying bacteria, and then I have the little drops of ammonia that you can add. I put a light dose of that in there. Go ahead and get that working. They always recommend that when you add in the bacteria, that it's fine to have circulation, but you want to take your filter socks and stuff like that out for 24 hours anyway. So I figured I would go ahead and dump it in and let it start attaching to the sand and rocks and come out of its dormant phase and let it start working. So anyway, let me know if you have any questions. I've said before in my videos, I use the Tropic, is it Tropic Marine, some people say Tropic Marin. I use their salt, and the sand is the Carib Sea Fiji Pink. The rock is just the dry rock that you get from Bulk Reef Supply. Got some more stuff on order. Today is Monday. This is Monday night. The other items that I've ordered should be here Thursday, so I can, within the next couple days, I'll have it full of water and circulation going, and then I have some more equipment coming in, so I'll do some more unboxings and show you what I have and update you through the whole process of this. But let me know if you have any questions. I try to put what I can in videos, and I hope that some people find them useful or enjoy watching them anyway. That's the whole point and purpose in doing these videos all together. So like I said, there's no money to be made in it, for me anyway. So anyway, yeah, thanks again, and I'll put out the next video sometime this week, soon as I get a little more progress.